Hi, I'm Roberto. You may or may not know I'm an RHA rep this year. I was wondering for next year, what you guys would have planned for actually like getting involved in RHA, for the fact that this year we actually have played out some constitution where our MUSG collaborates with RHA, but I don't see any of it happening.
Thank you for your question. Adam?
So you might know that Zach and I actually sat next to each other on RHA freshman year. I was O'Donnell Hall rep, he was McClellan Hall rep. So RHA holds a special spot in my heart. I think it's unfortunate that there's kind of been a stigma between MUSG and RHA. We're the two largest governing bodies on campus working for students. There needs to be open lines of collaboration. One of the ways I think that we can do that, I've been sending the minutes to the executive vice president at RHA, but I think that we should look into having an RHA representative at MUSG Senate meetings as well as an MUSG senator present or executive board member, however it works, at RHA meetings. There's nothing like face-to-face contact, sitting in on those meetings and being able to collaborate in that sense. So there's definite room for improvement. Natalie and I are excited to open up those lines of communications and send some MUSG people your way and have some RHA people come our way.
Yeah, I would totally agree.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Right.
Sure. And I would want to start by saying that RHA is obviously a really large group who serves a very similar group to who student government does. That's silly. We all serve the same people, and so there needs to be more collaboration between the two. And I think a great way that you can find that is during the summer we had one lunch where RHA and MUSG sat down together, and it stopped after that. And so there need to be more conversations between the two executive boards. They're moving for very similar ideas. There's a lot of ways to grow, and even though you may not always see it, they're working on the back end. So in my role as program vice president, I helped collaborate the human experience event with RHA. We help provide some funding for that to make it happen on campus. So it may not always be the most extroverted collaboration between the two, but it's always happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see that to continue and to increase because there are a lot of things that we want to target, especially with incoming freshman class, and who better to work with than RHA. So.
Thank you.
So in the role that I served in MUSG as the elections coordinator, I actually had firsthand experience collaborating with RHA. We collaborated on the fall election, and it was nothing but a successful election period and a successful experience. So I am entirely for more collaboration and active engagement and communication between the two organizations.
Yeah, I think I would in a second what Kyle said. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kyle, but Ushma Patel, she's the executive vice president whenever we were in there.
Yes.
Yeah, and I believe Ushma used to attend MUSG meetings, and she would then bring back the information that MUSG had in their meeting to the RHA meetings. And like Kyle suggested, I think this should be a two-way street. MUSG used to have a portion of their meetings every Thursday set aside for councils, so whether it was IFC, PAN-HEL, or NPHC, and then RHA as well. Those organizations used to come to MUSG and give updates so we could collaborate and find out what was going on in the other governing councils on campus. Unfortunately, that kind of passed along just because it got kind of tedious for these people to keep coming every week. But that's worth having a conversation to see if that's something we should start up again.
Okay. Thank you. What are each of you guys involved in extracurricularly and not including MUSG? And how do you guys plan on balancing that time with if you do get chosen elected as president, vice president, how do you guys plan on managing all of those responsibilities? Great question.
Sure. So both of us have an on-campus job, and besides that on-campus job, I'm taking classes at Marquette, and I'm the current program vice president. So I have if I'm elected, then I have the same amount of time in the office, as well as like 7-hour-a-week on-campus job.
I'm aside from the campus job. This semester has been a lot of business professional development for me. So I have an internship. The nice thing about having it this semester is that next semester I will not. And aside from that, I am very engaged in volunteer work, which is always kind of on my time on the weekends. So the nice thing about a campus job that Tyler and I both hold is that it's very flexible.
She's a dog walker, if anyone is curious. That's her volunteer work. It's pretty great.
It's great.
Thank you.
You're
So that is actually something I took into huge consideration prior to deciding to run for MUSG Executive Vice President. I'm the president of Alpha Phi sorority, so I do have time commitments. And so when Zach originally approached me, I kind of was taken aback entirely because, I mean, very large time commitment in another organization. So I spent a long time, probably about a month or two, I'd say, really just sitting down and looking at my schedule and planning out my next actually year and a half of college. I spoke with my advisor for Alpha Phi. I spoke with like trusted Greek life advisors that I had when I was in Panhellenic. I spoke with MUSG advisors. I spoke with advisors of SOF. I spoke with Zach and talked about his leadership style and what he wants to see from this organization. I, again, literally made a timeline of my next year and a half in university. I made pro-con lists, I cross-referenced, and finally I sat down with my like most trusted advisor of all, who advised me when I was on Panhellenic and is currently an advisor of mine for Alpha Phi. And I looked her in the face and I was like, I've mapped it out, I've done it, I've tried, I look at it on paper and it makes entire sense. Do you think I can do this? And she looked at me and was like, you can. I believe in you. I wholeheartedly know that you are capable of doing this and you are capable of doing both these positions and doing them well. And that gave me the strength, and as well as my research gave me the strength to really dedicate myself to both. And so I truly believe that I will be able to fulfill both positions entirely to my full capacity, and can't wait to work with Zach.
Besides MUSG, I really don't have anything else going on. I'm a casual member of College Democrats, so that's what, one meeting a week for 30 minutes to an hour. So here's my commitments.
Yeah, great question. Currently, I'm the Vice President of Membership for Panhellenic Association. So that, yep. Okay. I'm currently the Vice President of Membership for Panhellenic Associations. It's the governing body for sororities on this campus. This is my second year, so I'm very much familiar with the responsibility of that. Primarily, my work is to lead the 2015 sorority recruitment, and I'm very much a go-getter, and I already have it planned out. So I have a lot of time on my hands, but I still understand when I need to divide my time, and similar to Marguerite, I have laid out when I need to have those commitments, and a lot of my work is planning in the summer, and so I'm very confident that I can do both of these jobs well. I understand time commitments.
Yeah, so MUSG is my largest time commitment along with academics. Currently I'm the legislative vice president. The time commitment for president would be probably a few more hours a week depending on meeting schedules. But I'm a member of Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity. One of the things that was instilled in me very young is that good leaders aren't afraid to say no to certain opportunities. So I've had to prioritize and decide, do I want to be more involved in MUSG or in Sigma Phi Epsilon, or I'm also in Classics Club. My nerd flag is waving right now. We talk about dead languages. It's a grand old time. If I'm elected, my obligation is to the students and to my academics, and everything will fall second to that.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have a question?
Come on.
Not bad. Okay.
Bring them out.
All right, I have one last question for all of you, and then we will get into closing statements. Just spurred off that last question, if you guys don't get elected, what are you going to do? And we're going to be starting off down here.
What's our contingency plan?
Contingency plan, what happens if you don't get elected?
Yeah.
Plan B.
So Senate has become a really big part of my life since I ran for it at the end of my freshman year. I fully expect that if I don't get this position, that I will run for an off-campus Senate seat in the fall so that I can continue my involvement with student government. If I can't be on the executive board, I still want to be part of the conversations that are leading student government forward.
So I would obviously continue serving my term as Alpha Phi president, which would finish up in November or next year. Actually, mentoring and leadership development is a huge passion of mine, so I would probably seek out actively how to continue to be engaged on campus and continue to actively better campus through engaging the younger generations that are coming through. I haven't exactly decided to what capacity, but I'm not one to sit still, and so I would continue to give back to this beloved university.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I would continue being the vice president of membership for Panhandle, as well as speaking with a lot of people who work in the Office of Student Development and what ways that we can, I guess similar to what actually Marguerite said, and what ways I can really get involved with new member orientation. I'm actually currently, I kind of forgot this, a team leader for orientation staff, so I could just continue that and just see how I can work even more with that aspect.
Yeah, if I should lose this election, I'd like to seek leadership opportunities within my fraternity's local chapter, also perhaps in the statewide or regional structure. But another thing that I haven't weighed fully is my term as LVP runs until the end of April, and I would have an opportunity to seek re-election for that position. If I would want to continue on this role, it's been the honor of a lifetime and a lot of fun working with the Senate. So that was something that would strongly appeal to me, would be coming back and serving in that current position. But I'd like to move an office over.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, Zach and I have been in student government for the same amount of time, and I think it'd be hard for either one of us to let go of the organization. And thankfully, there's still plenty of ways to get involved. I could apply to be a desk receptionist, really coveted position within the organization. There's also all university committees that are all coordinated through the executive vice president. I could also bump up some of my hours on my on-campus job, and my bank account would probably appreciate that a little bit. But that's probably what I would look to do if we didn't win.
Yeah, currently I work around 35 hours a week, so I'm looking forward to semester, regardless of, winning the candidacy. I look forward to being on campus more next semester. So one thing that I've contemplated a lot is, the opportunity with Hunger Cleanup. I was the marketing chair last year, possibly trying to get involved as co-coordinator, which is just a step up. But continuing my activity with student organizations and my volunteering.
Okay, thank you.